Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes. How are you all? Welcome back to all my returners, and hi to any newbies. It's so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while, and if you like what you see, give me a thumbie. They are free. So, as I explained yesterday, today is just going to be a bit of a chat. There's not even any crochet. I'm so sorry. But just feast your eyes on my beautiful yarniness behind me, and there's your crochet yarny content. Now, this video is not going to be for everybody, and I completely understand. Originally, this video was going to be a bit of a moan about my PO box, because I need to let you guys know what is going on with that. But in between filming yesterday's video and starting this one, I took delivery of this hoodie that I am wearing, and I feel it's important to talk about. I am going to give you a trigger warning. I am going to let you know that I am talking about a subject that can be quite upsetting for a lot of people. So if you cannot handle discussions about self-deletion, then you need to click off this video, and I will see you another time. No judgment. I completely understand, and we'll just see you another time. Now, first of all, it annoys me that I have to use the term self-deletion, because for me, not being able to use the word that is known around the globe for that act makes me feel like it brings more stigma to it, when it doesn't need to be stigmatized any more than it already is. Another term that people use is unaliving. I cannot get on board with that phrase at all, so I will not be using that phrase. So, self-deletion is when somebody ends their own life, okay? But I cannot use the common term for it, because my video will be blocked, it will be taken down, and I will get a penalty for it, which just blows my mind and enrages me. But that is the world we're currently living in. Now, I personally have been touched by this particular subject. Thankfully, not by a close family member or a super close friend, but I have had experience in it. When I was a teen in secondary school, in fact, in what we call sixth form, 17, 18, there was a young girl at my school who none of us knew that she was struggling so much, that she was so unhappy in her life, that it came as a massive shock when we got the news that she had self-deleted. I didn't know the girl particularly well. We were not close friends, but she was somebody in my cohort of fellow students. And I did go to her funeral service as a mark of respect and to show the family that she had an impact on a lot of people. It was a particularly hard one to deal with, in the fact that it was her own mum that found her. It was not pleasant. It was just horrible. And some of the songs that were played at her funeral are still songs that I struggle to listen to now. And yeah, she was 17, and that is no age. She still had so much life to live, and everybody has that wish. Why didn't she talk to somebody? Why didn't she tell someone? Why didn't anybody know? And that is the sad thing about self-deletion. That's wrong. A lot of people feel that they cannot reach out and talk to anybody. They cannot let anybody know. That is how much of a deep, dark place they are in, and that is what they are feeling. Now, also, side note, where I am currently working, there are a lot of young people that are dealing with what we call SEMH needs, which is social, emotional, and mental health needs. There is a lot of self-harm, and there are students that suffer with ideation of self-deletion. That's not the proper term, but I can't use the proper term because YouTube doesn't like it. So it is a big, big deal. And I've also had another person in my life that also self-deleted. A lot of my younger adult life, I used to work in a lot of pubs and bars. I was the barmaid, you know, pulling your pints and giving you your glasses of wine and your shots and your cocktails and anything that you wanted. And a regular customer of mine, he was a truly, truly wonderful ace guy, and I had a lot of time for him. And about 4 years ago now, and he was only in his early 30s, he self-deleted, and it was a couple of his friends that found him. And it devastated the local community. It obviously devastated his young daughter. Yeah, it's pretty hard for those left behind to deal with. But at the same time, in the same vein, for somebody to be that desperate and not wanting to be here anymore, to actually be able to do that is mind-blowing. And however hard it is for us left behind, it must have been so much worse for the person feeling that. So, like I said, it has touched my life, and it's something that I have spoken about with my own children. I always want them to know that they can come and talk to me about anything. I try and be that person that anyone can come to at any point. Even if you don't know me very well, if you need someone that's not particularly close to you and you need to tell someone that this is how you're feeling, or any conversation, as a matter of fact, I've always told you guys my email inbox is open. Sometimes it just takes somebody to listen to start the healing process. So please, 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 anybody out there who might be struggling, please just reach out and talk to somebody. And it may feel like the hardest thing in the world, but everybody left behind wishes that you had said something, wishes we could have done more, wishes we could have tried and helped prevent the actual event from happening. So this hoodie is part of an organisation called Live to Live, and I'm not sponsored or affiliated. I am not getting paid for this content, and even if I had been asked, I wouldn't take payment anyway. It is doing the rounds quite a lot on social media, and it is trying to highlight the importance of spreading the message that people are loved, even complete strangers, because anybody who is feeling that way looks for little signs to make them want to stay, to stop them in that moment from potentially doing something that they cannot reverse. And there are a lot of stories that go along with these hoodies where people have seen somebody wearing it and they knew that they had something to fight for, because there will be people that come into your life that you need to stick around for and enjoy being with. It has saved a lot of people. So this cost me £20, which is nothing. It's a drop in the ocean. But even if I don't save anyone by wearing it, if it brings smiles to the faces of anybody while I'm out and about in the wild, then my job here is done, because we should be spreading the love to everybody. We should be spreading the kindness to everybody. Now, I am not a perfect human being. I have off days. I am not the best version of myself 24/7. Nobody is. I can be negative. I can be judgmental. I can be a bitch when I want to be. That is just human. I am human. Those are normal behaviours from time to time. But for the most part, I try and keep myself in check, and I try and be the best version of myself that I can be as often as I can be. And I do like to think that I build people up rather than tear them down. So on the front of this hoodie, it says, "You are enough." So if I'm walking towards somebody, that simple message is right there in their face. And this message is for everybody. That's why I'm wearing it. You are enough, okay? But on the back is an even bigger message. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you clearly, because I am, of course, wearing it. I don't think I'm going to be able to. But on the back, there is another message. that says, "Dear person behind me, the world is a better place with you in it. Love the person in front of you." Okay, and they are quite significant words. And if I'm stood in line in a store or wherever I am, somebody that I do not know stood behind me may need to hear that message. So I think this is the best £20 I have spent in a very long time. I will be wearing this out in the wild. I will, of course, check with management before I wear it to work, because at work, we don't have to dress smartly. We dress casually. And that is because we have a lot of students that have massive school avoidance. We are not mainstream. We are alternative. And we don't want there to be that traditional authority barrier or that authority divide where staff are above students. We are a community, and so therefore we dress more casually, and we're not imposing authority. But because everybody or a lot of people will be aware of these hoodies, and you know, like I said, some of the students are currently dealing with some of those issues, it may be a little bit close to the mark. So I'm going to ask permission before I wear it in work. If it's not appropriate for me to wear in work, I completely understand, but I will be wearing it in my spare time out in the wild to try and help complete strangers or just put a smile on somebody's face, because we all need to hear it. We all need to hear that we are enough, and we all need to hear that the world is a better place because we're in it. Anyway, enough about that, and I'm sorry if I have upset any of you. I am sorry if you didn't listen to my warning and click off and now you're regretting watching, but I did give that warning in all fairness. So, important message delivered. Let's move on. Now, the next topic of conversation is my PO box. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. I have had a nightmare with it, and I am massively regretting getting one. I really am. And it affects you guys because obviously I have it listed in the description box of all of my videos. And the reason why I got it is because my channel has now got to the stage where my numbers are slowly growing. In fact, we've come to a bit of a standstill, but that's okay. That's not important. But there are a lot of you out there now that have my personal address, and for the most part, that is absolutely fine because we've actually had more than one communication. We are actual friends, and I know that there isn't a safety issue. But when I have giveaways and when I have people that I haven't interacted with before email me asking me for my address because they want to send me something, I'm now getting a little bit antsy as to how many people out there know where I live. And I know that's silly, but my top priority is my children. I have to keep their safety at the forefront of my mind. And also, because I've previously worked in a prison, I'm not comfortable with people that are not super close to me knowing where I live and that information getting in the wrong hands. So I decided to get a PO box, and I got a PO box, I think it was just after Christmas, and it was a bit of a pain in the butt to get in the first place. They aren't widely available where I live, and I paid for it. I paid for a year, and to begin with I thought it was going to be like a 20-25 minute drive away. It isn't. It's only about a 10-minute drive away. However, their opening times are very minimal for me to be able to access it and get there and check it, because I have to go there. There has to be a member of staff. They have to take my little card with all the PO box details on it to go and look in the back room and see if anything is in my PO box. It isn't one of those, because I've heard the US friends of mine say who've got them that it's basically like a building. You've got your own key, you've got your own locker, you can check your own locker, and if you receive something that doesn't fit in the locker, there'll be a little note inside to say to go to the main desk and they will be able to get it out from the back. That's not how it works here, and it's really frustrating. I don't know if in bigger towns and cities. In the UK, it is a bit more like that, but specifically where I am, that's not how it works. It is only open during the week within hours where I'm at work. So I cannot get to my PO box during the week. There was one glimmer of hope that on a Thursday they do open at a later time in the evening, so that I could potentially pop in there after work on a Thursday to check on it. But they've since stopped doing that. In fact, I went to go and check it the Thursday of last week, and I rocked up and I went to go to the little window to speak to the person inside, and it was all shut down. It was locked and boarded, and the Thursday evening opening times on the sign outside had just been scribbled out in Sharpie. But they haven't updated their website to say that they're not doing the Thursday evenings anymore. So I had a completely wasted journey, which is slightly irritating. But, you know, worse things happen. No big deal, really. Just a little bit of a So now the only time that I can access my PO box is of a Saturday morning. But I can only do that before midday. They shut at midday. So, you know, after a long week of work, when I want a lie-in on the Saturday, or a chilled, relaxed morning, maybe crocheting in bed, and having a bit of a slower, lazier start, that's now been cut down, because if I need to check my PO box, I'm going to have to, you know, get up and on and go and check it. The other frustrating thing about my PO box is the fact that I don't get notifications to say that anything's there. Again, my US friends tell me that they get an app and it bings and it says you've received mail, come and get it. And that would be amazing, because then I wouldn't have to just drive over there hoping or seeing if there's anything in there. I would actually be notified there is something, so please come. It won't be a wasted trip. Do you see what I'm saying? So I've only ever been there, 3 times, but one of them was where it was shut and I couldn't actually do anything. So I've only actually successfully been there twice and spoken to someone and checked it. And she said, you need to come at least twice a month or we'll just close it. But you won't get a refund for the months that you're not using it. We'll just close it and you'll lose your money. So I'm like, okay, I can do twice a month. That's no biggie. And let me just also say, guys, that I'm not going, you know, hoping that there's going to be boxes galore there for me. I'm not that person. The only reason why I got the PO box is because so many of you beautiful humans want to gift me, and like I said, I was uncomfortable about giving my home address. Happy Mail is never requested or required. If I don't ever get another piece of Happy Mail again, it is absolutely fine, because it is totally not necessary. So it's not like I'm like, oh, I've not got anything, oh, I'm really annoyed now. It's okay, cool. But I've stuck to the agreement that I need to check it at least twice a month. Now, the cost of this PO box is extortionate. Absolutely extortionate. I paid the best part of £400 for this PO box for the year. So that is over $400, nearly $500 that I paid for this PO box for the year. And when I got it just after Christmas, they said they'd send me a letter with my little card with all the details on it, and I'm all set up and I'm good to go. Well, for the whole month of January, I never received that letter. I never got my card. And then it took me absolutely forever to find somebody online to ask, I haven't got my letter. I don't even know where my PO box is. I don't even know my PO box details. You said you were going to send me a letter and I haven't been given anything. And she said, a letter was sent. You should have got it. And I'm like, but I didn't. So they sent another letter and another little pink card with, and it's pink, with all my details on it. So for the whole month of January, I didn't even use it because I didn't know where it was to use it. Thankfully, nothing arrived, and thankfully they didn't close it because I didn't check it. So yeah, that was another irritation. For the whole month of January, I paid for something that wasn't even properly in use. And then, you know, like I said, to not get notifications that anything's in it is irritating. And so a story as to why I've come on to rant about it is, one of you lovelies, and I'm not going to name you, just in case you don't want to be named, messaged me and said, I've sent something to your PO box. And I was like, oh, you didn't have to do that. And it's for my birthday. My birthday's been and gone. That's fine. She said, but there seems to be a bit of an issue with them delivering it. I said, well, what do you mean? She said, well, they're trying to verify the address. Can I check that the details that I got from your description box are correct? Now, there were a couple of minor discrepancies, and I mean minor discrepancies, nothing major. And I'm like, well, that shouldn't have prevented it being delivered. I don't understand. So that's when I went to the PO box Thursday after work to be, shown that the dates or the times have been scribbled out by Sharpie, and that's not happening anymore. And I said, well, I tried to go Thursday, but it isn't open, so I'm going to have to wait until Saturday morning. Well, today is Saturday morning that I'm filming. Well, it's not morning anymore, but today is Saturday that I'm filming. So I went over there and she checked my PO box, and you will have seen the beautiful birthday card and stickers that Missy gave me on Sunday as a bonus video, because that was waiting for me in my PO box. But there was also a letter from Parcel Force in there saying, we're unable to deliver your parcel to your PO box. Please give us a call to arrange you coming to the big depot in the big city, 20 plus miles away, or re-deliver it. So I went back to my car and I rang them. And I said, I've had a parcel, but you haven't been able to deliver it. And they were like, oh, yes, that's because we don't send parcels to PO Box. Pardon? But you're the mail system? And the whole point of me having a PO Box is because I've got a YouTube channel and I don't want my personal address on my YouTube channel for the world to have access to. But also, I work full time, so I'm not home during the week to receive parcels. So that was another benefit of having a PO box, that if somebody needed to be in, it could just be signed for at the PO box and I could collect at my convenience. So what do you mean a parcel company doesn't deliver parcels to a PO box? That's craziness. That doesn't make sense to me. And she said, no, we only deliver to commercial or residential addresses. So I'm like, so what am I going to do now? She said, well, we'll arrange re-delivery. I said, oh, brilliant. That's great. Thank you very much. Although what's the point of me having a PO box if you're not going to send parcels to it? She said, oh, you'll still get letters. You'll still get cards. Okay, but why am I paying nearly £400 a year to receive cards and letters? I needed it for parcels specifically. And she said, sorry, that's just not something we do. So I was a little bit flabbergasted, and that is an understatement. And I was severely irritated by this point. I wasn't the best version of myself today, not even going to lie. So it's a good job this came after that. So she said, oh, okay, so we can, because it's only a half day today, we can't arrange it for delivery on Monday, but we can do Tuesday for you. So I said, okay, that's great. I said, but hang on a minute. Does somebody need to be in to accept the delivery of the parcel? She said, yes. I said, again, so I repeat, the reason why I got a PO box is because nobody is home Monday to Friday during the day, which is why I got the PO box. So you can't re-deliver it on Tuesday. Nobody's going to be here. So I said, can you have it re-delivered for Saturday? So I have to wait another week, but at least it's going to be coming to me. She said, oh, yes, that's absolutely fine. But because we need to change the address on the parcel, it's going to cost you. Why? So anyway, I said, okay, I'll pay the cost, whatever. It's better than the parcel being sent back to the person that sent it to me, because then there's the horrible predicament of them having to pay shipping a second time and all of that malarkey. So I said, fine, I'll wait a week. I'll pay the charge. You know, sometimes I've had Happy Mail and I've had to pay customs and duty taxes and things on it. So, you know, it's not alien to me. And the charge that they wanted me to pay wasn't as much as customs that I've paid before. So in the end, it isn't a biggie. So I said, okay, I'll pay the charge. And she was like, okay, so someone from the depot will give you a call back shortly to take payment. Why can't you take payment? She said, because I'm not that department. We'll get the other department to ring you. I'm like, okay. She said, is this the best number to call you on? I said, well, yes, because I'm calling you on this number. So I drove around the corner to a shop that I needed to go in because I needed to pick up a few bits and pieces, because here in the UK, last Sunday was Mother's Day. I know you guys in the US celebrate it in May, but here in the UK we celebrate it in March, and it was last Sunday. So like I said, because this is all happening on the Saturday, I needed to pick up a few bits and pieces for my gorgeous, wonderful mum for Mother's Day. So I'm just pulling into the car park or parking lot of the shop that I need to go in, and my phone's ringing. So I very badly park in haste to answer my phone, and it's the lady telling, the lady from the other department. So she said, okay, I've changed the address on your parcel. It will be delivered next Saturday. And I said, brilliant. And she went to hang up. I said, hang on a minute. Aren't you supposed to take a charge from me? Because I was told it would, there would be a cost. And she said, oh no, don't worry about it. Because we've changed it from a PO address to a residential address, there'll be no charge. The only time we charge is if it's from one residential address to another residential address, or a residential address to a business, or a business to a residential. But because it's PO to residential, there's no charge. I'm like, okay, brilliant. So that cheered me up a little bit. I didn't have to pay a charge in the end, and it is still getting to me. It's coming next Saturday. But I'm still left with this overwhelming question of, what exactly have I paid so much money for? Not a lot, it seems. So I'm locked in for the year. I won't be renewing it. And after the year is up, there will be no PO box option. So I'm back to square one again, guys. I am back to square one. So not that I am assuming anyone is sending me anything, because like I've said, I don't expect anything. I am just putting this out there that if you were planning to send something to my PO box, please don't send it parcel because apparently I can't get parcels at my PO box. If you're planning on sending me a parcel, which again I don't expect, please reach out to me and ask for my personal private address, because that is the only way you're going to get it to me, which is totally the opposite of the point of doing this. Oh! So yes, I've spent a lot of money for not a lot. It's highly frustrating. That money could have been used for a whole host of other amazing things that are needed and wanted. But I'm locked in. I'm stuck with it. I'm putting this warning out now, so hopefully we don't have this situation too much. And yeah, unless it's a letter or a card, you better ask me for my address. If it's a letter or a card, you're okay to send it to the PO box. How ridiculous. I really feel like the UK are so backwards in their mailing system. What is the point? What is this service? Total rubbish is what it is. I mean, I'm over the anger now, like that has dissipated. I was really quite infuriated earlier, but I've calmed down because do you know what? This is the last video I'm filming for this week. So I've done all my content for the week. It's all being uploaded and, everything's going good. And I know that when I finish this video, I can go and have a lovely hot shower, and then I can get my really comfy jammies on, and I can have a lovely evening crocheting and a lovely dinner with my family. And it's not the end of the world. And I know it's not the end of the world, but I am human and things do irritate me. And I'm pretty sure all of you beautiful friends of mine would be pretty much feeling the same as I was. So I've got over my anger. I haven't got over my frustration. That frustration is going to live with me for the next however many months I've got left on my PO box, but it can't be helped. So I'm going to have this grumble with friends where I know it's a safe space that I can have a bit of a grumble, and I have people that understand where I'm coming from. And then hopefully that will be the anger completely gone, and there'll just be a little grumble of occasionally. And that's that, guys. That's the story of the PO box that is an absolute sham for Manfa Makes. Honestly, sometimes you cannot write this stuff. You wouldn't be believed. But that is the truth. That is exactly the situation that I'm in. So, go figure. Go figure. If it's going to happen to anyone, it's going to happen to Manfa. And there's been a lot of that lately for a lot of different things. And I'm just like, really? Really? Because we had this PO situation this morning, PO box situation this morning. And then when I get home and I feel like the anger is dissipating and I'm getting over it, I get an email to tell me that something that I'd ordered for my mum for Mother's Day on Sunday, the day after I'm filming this, has been cancelled. It's not coming. So what I've ordered for my mum ain't coming no more. So I haven't even got the wonderful gift idea that I had for her. So that was an irritation as well. It's been an irritable Saturday, guys. But I'm saying it now with a smile on my face because I know it's really not a big deal. My mum is going to be happy with the few other little bits and bobs that I got her. She doesn't expect grand gestures or loads of money spent on her. The fact that we're going to go round and see her on a Sunday that isn't our normal Sunday to see her means the world to her. And actually, guys, it was my boys' turn to go with their dad the weekend that I'm filming this, and actually they've all decided to come home for Mother's Day and spend Mother's Day with me. So and that shouldn't have been the case. They should have been with their dad until, you know, Mother's Day evening, but they're actually going to be with me for the whole day. So, you know, the fact that my mum will get to see her grandbabies on Mother's Day as well will be lovely because they should have been elsewhere. So there are silver linings. There are things that, you know, kind of balance out the irritations. But I thought I had been really cool and clever for my mum's Mother's Day gift. And now it's not happening. And the reason why it's not happening is because, and this is bad luck, and this just epitomises Manfa's bad luck in things, this company have been trading for quite a while now, but it's the first time that I decided to order from them. And what they do is they have a card, doesn't look like your traditional card, it's more like a thin box, but printed on the front is either your birthday picture or your Mother's Day picture or your Valentine's picture or whatever special occasion picture printed on the top, and you open it and there's the little message on the inside of, you know, the lid, but inside are two quite big, thick, home-baked slices of cake contained within the card. Now, I know you guys don't know my mum at all, but if you did, you would know that cake is life to my mum. My mum loves cake. Like, cake is everything to my mum. She is one of the biggest cake lovers going. Now, I like cake. I like yarn cake, but I like actual food cake. I get it from my mum. Like, cake is everything to her. So I thought not only is it her Mother's Day card, but there's cake inside. Surprise! How amazing! And I picked 2 different flavours for her. But their ovens broke. Their ovens broke, which means they couldn't fulfill the orders for Mother's Day, one of the biggest occasions of the year where they get the majority of their orders. They broke, which meant they couldn't bake the cake, which meant they couldn't send them out. And it happened 2 days before Mother's Day. Go figure. Ugh. So my mum's not getting any cake for Mother's Day. Oh. Again, it's not the end of the world. I know that. But it's still irritating. But anyway, how many times do I push on this channel that this is a place of positivity? This is a place of kindness. This is a non-judgmental safe space. And what am I doing? I'm coming on here having a bit of a moan and a gripe and a whinge. But, like I said, I am human too. And I'm not being vile or malicious or nasty or bleh to anyone. I'm just saying that a series of things and events is causing me to be a little bit grrr. And that's okay. And because this is a safe space that I've created full of lovely, loving, kind, supportive, beautiful humans, and yes, I'm talking about every single one of you watching, my friends, because I've created that safe space, I thought I would use my own safe space to have a bit of a vent, a bit of a rant. So I'm sorry. I hope I haven't spoilt your day. But I needed to talk to somebody that would get it. And you guys will get it. I know you will. So there we go. That is the latest ridiculousness saga and shenanigans of Manfa's life. Honestly, this past week has been a series of them, an absolute series of them. It has just been, are you kidding me? At least once a day this week. I have had a particularly hard week at work for lots of reasons, and Friday was probably the worst day yet. And I can't go into details, but it has incredibly upset me, and I'm still trying to process and stop worrying myself over it. But, you know, I am in a job role where there is a lot of safety, security, responsibility, and pressure, I suppose, to a sense. And if there's an incident or if there's an issue, it can severely impact you. So yeah, Friday work impacted me a little bit in the emotional feels. And Saturday, today when I'm filming, I've been severely irritated on top of already feeling whoo. So yeah, there we go. But I'm going to keep pressing on. I'm going to keep putting one foot in front of the other. I'm not going to let the universe, sorry for saying this, crap all over me and me suffer. I'm just going to go, whatever. You're not going to break me. I'm going to carry on. It's exhausting though. I'm absolutely exhausted. But that's okay, because like I said, when I turn this camera off in a minute, I'm going to have a lovely hot shower. I'm going to get into my comfy, cozy jammies. Honestly, guys, if I could live in my jammies 24/7, I totally would. Jammies are life for me, just like cake's life for my mum. But sadly, my mum's not going to get cake, but I'm going to get my jammies. I mean, yeah, so that's that. I told you in yesterday's video that there'll be no crochet catch up tomorrow. That is because you've already seen the majority of the crochet that was done, and 3 evenings were eaten up by weaving in ends on stuff that you've already seen. So there isn't an awful lot to show you. So I am gonna get as much crafting time in as I can the weekend of filming this, and throughout the next coming week, so that next week you will have more to see on a crochet catch up, hopefully, if the universe lets me. We'll have to see. Who knows? I'm doing my best, guys. I'm doing my best. It's a little bit crappy, but no big deal. So I hope your week has gone better than mine. I hope that you haven't been irritated like I have, because it's not fun. But never mind. Yeah, I don't really know if I've got anything else to add. But, you know, all of you, please make sure that you remember this simple message at all times. Don't ever let it slip your mind. Don't ever, you know, let it disappear in the swirliness that goes on in our heads sometimes, because I genuinely mean it. You are enough. We are enough. So there we go. That is my videoing done for this week. Yay! And I don't feel too bad about there not being a crochet catch up tomorrow, because I did give you a short last Saturday, and I did give you a bonus video on Sunday, which was the beautiful birthday card from Missy. So you did technically get 2 tiny bits of extra content that doesn't normally come out on those days. So hopefully that makes up for Thursday. If it doesn't make up for Thursday, I'm really sorry. But yeah, I think my energy tank is completely done now, and we're going to concentrate on that relaxing and crochet time. It really does me wonders. I'm sure it does you guys wonders as well. I really do need to crochet at least once a day for me to feel like everything's all right in the world. Even when things are, you know, falling apart and going wrong and, you know, frustrating me, my crochet never lets me down unless I lose my crojo. And that's happening more and more lately, but I'm fighting for it. I'm not letting it win. I'm doing my crochet. I need to do my crochet. I have had a couple of moments where I found myself doom scrolling on social media rather than picking up my hook. But again, I'm human, and I want to enjoy my craft, not feel like I have to. So it's a fine balancing act. I'm doing my best. But I do plan on doing a lot of crochet this weekend, so fingers crossed. And I know that it's already been and gone, but I hope all the UK mummies had a great Mother's Day last weekend. Hasn't happened for me yet when I'm filming, but by the time you see it, it's happened. So I hope me and my mum do have a good Mother's Day. But who knows? Maybe I'll fill you in on that next week. And let me know, guys, is it okay to do these more chatty videos from time to time? Because I'm going to let you into a little secret. I am really struggling to find enough content for a Monday to Thursday every week consecutively, because now I've stripped the channel back and I'm not doing as many segments as I used to do, because you know I had something for every day of the week at one point. Because I'm not doing so many of them, because I'm taking, you know, some of the stress and pressure off myself, I now have all of those days to fill with something. But because I don't have anything planned, it's becoming harder and harder to fill in those content slots. So if you don't mind me sitting and talking to you from time to time, maybe we'll do a few more of these vloggy type videos. I do know that, you know, some of the other podcasters and YouTube content creators that I watch who do this more than anything else, they, you know, they have huge, really successful channels. I mean, they have a lot more going on in their life than I do, so it's not going to be happening super regularly, because there's not a lot to tell you about. I can't tell you hardly anything about my job because it's super confidential, and I spend most of my week at my job. So, you know, but just every so often when there is something to chat with you guys about, is this all right? Is this a video that you can get on board with? Or will you be, you know, disappointed that it's not yarny and that it's not crochet themed? Because there's no crocheting going on, just chatting. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions down below. I'd really appreciate it. Because there's no point doing content that people don't like, right? So, there we go. I'm going to get going. I've kept you for 42 minutes. I do apologise. So, yes, don't worry. There will be a warning in the video title for the beginning part of this video, just in case there are people out there that just cannot go there. And like I said, no judgment, but it is really, really important. I think more people need to speak about it. And like I said, not being able to use the correct terminology stigmatizes it even more. And we need to break down those stigmas. And social media need to stop people being able to just speak about such things. Why should we be censored? Why? I don't know. But anyway, I love you all so, so much. Thank you so much for listening to my ridiculousness. I mean, I'll probably look back on this in a couple of weeks and go, oh, Manfa, get over yourself. Get a grip, love. It's really not a big deal. But, you know, in the moment, it is a big deal. So thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being my friend. Remember, okay? Right, I'm going to let you get going. Have a fabulous weekend when it eventually gets here for you. I hope your week has been wonderful. I hope you've managed to craft all the beautiful things that your heart desires. And I hope you have had some glorious time with your loved ones. Yeah, I'm going to go and get crafting. Get into my happy place. So guys, until next week, stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your loved ones, and get some good quality crafting time in. I will see you in the next one, or around the YouTube streets. Never forget I love you.